Hi and welcome to a tutorial on how to make tamales with Maseca. My name is Chef Brian and this is Chef Patty.
Hi.
Today we're going to be covering a traditional pork and red chili tamale. Tamales are basically steamed cornmeal and other fillings wrapped in corn husk. They can be enjoyed any time of day and they can be enjoyed savory or sweets. Traditionally, tamales are enjoyed during the holidays, Las Posadas, and with some ponche. Okay, now we've talked a little bit about the history of tamales, let's get into making them. Step 1, preparing your corn husk. Today we're using the corn husk by El Guapo. We're going to pre-soak these in warm or hot water. Don't worry, you can't over-soak them, but you do want to leave them in long enough to get soft and manageable. Step 2, preparing the dough, or the masa as it's called. Now traditionally masa used to be very difficult to make, but it's been simplified with Maseca for tamal. We're just going to be adding 4 ingredients to this mix. We have our broth, some lard, some baking powder, and salt. And now over to our mixer. We're going to be preparing our dough. We're going to put in our flour. Then we're going to add our broth, the baking powder, and the salt. And lastly, we're going to add our lard. Now, we do recommend using lard. It gives the more traditional tasting tamales. There are substitutes. Some do like to melt down their lard just a little bit because the consistency is important here. We want a consistency that's going to roll around your fingers and not leave any residue. The lard also makes it nice and fluffy. See here, it's almost done. And you see here she kept mixing it until it became more combined. And it's perfect consistency here. You can see we roll it around without leaving much residue. If it is too pasty, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more flour. And if it's too thick, you want to add a little bit more broth or lard. Alright, let's move on to steps 3 and 4. We're going to prepare our meats and our salsa. What we're using is the pork shoulder. We're going to go ahead and boil it and make it nice and tender because we're going to shred it up and add it to our salsa. The salsa is very easy to make. We're going to just take the El Guapo Guajillo chilies, add them with tomatoes and tomatillo. We're going to add some cumin, some pepper, some salt, and bring it to a boil, get it all blended up, and that's going to be our salsa for the pork. Alright, step 5, preparing your tamale. Patty here is going to go ahead and grab a sizable ball of dough. Now you can make a medium size to a large size tamale depending on how big you want. She's going to use a medium portion right here. And she's going to go ahead and try a less traditional approach with the tortilla press. Now there are many ways to get your masa onto the husk. We're using a more user-friendly and beginner approach. She's going to go ahead and smash it, give it a gentle press, and make a dough pancake, so to speak, and place that on our pre-soaked tamale husk. And you do want to use the smooth side of the tamale husk. So here she is using the smooth side, and with that little pancake there, she's going to add the meat. Depending on how thick you want to make the tamale, you can add a little or a lot. We're going to use a medium-sized portion. And then next we're going to fold it. Now there are many ways to fold up your tamale. We're going to fold up the tail first. It keeps the juice from falling out. And then from the side, and then the left side. And that's it. You have your tamale and it's ready to be steamed. Remember, you're going to set these tamales upright in the steamer. You're not going to lay them down. They will spill out. And if you're using different types of tamale ingredients such as cheese, you do want to wrap those. Cheese tends to boil out of the tamale. So next we're going to place this tamale in the steamer. This is our last step, step 6. We're going to go ahead and get these tamales ready to be steamed. Our steamer here is specially designed for the tamales. It has a base that sits above a pool of water, and you're going to go ahead and place these tamales upright with their open holes on the top. You're going to stand them up, and you're going to place them in a spiral going around the pot. And just like that. And some people, if you have a lot of space in them, some like to get wet rags, or they'll put in some foil just to give some space between them, just to make sure that the tamales are upright. And then we're going to place a lid back on them, and we're going to steam them for an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how thick you want to make your tamales. These are medium size. We'll just steam them up for an hour. If you have large ones, I recommend checking every 10 minutes after an hour to look for the consistency of a finished tamale, which peels right off of the corn husk. So here we are, we've got our tamale. It's been steamed, it's ready to go. You're going to unwrap it and just make sure it doesn't stick to your corn husk. You see there, that's the perfect consistency that we want. And there we are, our pork and red chili tamale. Hey, thank you for watching on how to make tamales with Maseca. Don't forget to subscribe or like the video for more great content. Enjoy.